Hello storytellers, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I've been gone so long. If you are new here, hello, my name is Lauren. This is my husband Daniel. I'm an actress, teacher, all-round storyteller. He puts up with my
lifestyle.
Lifestyle's a great word for it. And I'm here to guide you through my adventures in parks, pages and pixels. Today was a mini adventure that we took just before Christmas?
Yeah.
Just after Christmas.
Before Christmas.
Before Christmas. We visited the Disney Pop-Up in Selfridges, London. So the reason it's taken so long for this to get out is because I took a little longer to recover from surgery. I had very big goals to get back to doing this, and those goals had to be put back and back and back. Finally back up and filming, starting to get editing. We're getting back there very slowly, so my apologies. There has been basically no content and radio silence for the best part of 3-4 months.
Yeah, and I think the thing you've got to remember is that there are some wonderful creators putting out content on YouTube in the Disney space who are of a limited ability, but you were in a wheelchair very temporarily.
Yes.
And so adapting to that and trying to make content and put it out was just not really practical when it was such a temporary thing.
And there was such a push for me to get back to work.
Yeah. And it might not have come across the best.
Yeah. So we didn't film while we were there because it was our first outing, if I remember rightly, with the wheelchair. Because we did the light thing afterwards. Yes.
We did, yes. London
yeah,
was
we did. We did
first.
like a London lights experience a few weeks later. But yeah, so I didn't film anything. I did take a couple of pictures, mostly from his perspective than my perspective, me in the wheelchair, because it was kind of funny. And it was also my first time in Selfridges.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I've walked through it to get to a bus stop once. When I was struggling to get back to yours when you lived in Camden. And I had to go around the houses and find a different bus. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to talk about the Disney Pop-Up. We're going to talk about our thoughts and feelings about it. And I'm going to get into the very few items I purchased. And then an update on where it's at now, because it was only meant to be temporary, but it has been extended again. So, Dan, what were your thoughts? Because you, one, were wheeling me, so you've got a completely different perspective to me.
Yeah.
And two, you're not a massive Disney fan, nor are you a big brand person. And I took you to a big brand department store to see a Disney pop-up.
So, my opinions of the Disney store in Selfridges was that it wasn't fully decked out like a Disney store. Right?
Yes.
You didn't have the kind of classic 90s Disney vibe. And if there is anyone watching this video who's not from the UK, that we only have the one store now, or has there been a second one that's been open other than this one that's been extended?
Technically we've got one in Ireland, if I remember rightly.
It's not part of the UK.
It is the UK part of...
Oh, it's in Northern Ireland.
I believe so.
I thought it was in Republic.
Where's Dublin?
Republic.
Cool. No, it's the only one in the UK then. I don't know geography.
So, we only have one Disney store in the UK left now. It's the one on Oxford Street.
There was that one at Westfield. I don't know if it's still
temporary
there.
One. Yeah, which that had the kind of classic Disney store feel to it.
It felt like a Disney store.
It had been done up in the colours. This wasn't. This was still Selfridges with Disney stuff on the shelves.
Yes.
Right?
They did have some figurine statues to pose with, and they'd very much they'd done twinkle lights above us to look like fairy dust. They'd put effort in, but it was a Selfridges effort compared to what we'd get in a Disney store. And that's not to say whether it was bad or better or good or whatever. It's just different.
So what I was saying is that the interior was still very Selfridges, right? Lauren's pointed out some little details that maybe went over my head at the time.
Yeah.
But it still just had that kind of high-end department store feel, but with Disney stuff.
Yes.
And they did have some of their own, not own, but some of their like some specialised merchandise.
Yes.
For the fact that they had a Disney store in Selfridges. I would say my perspective of it was, if you were a normal family taking your child to Disney store, you would just go to the Disney store.
Yeah.
This is not an improvement. It's not better. And unless you're specifically going there for the things that were available there, I don't know how worth it would be just to a family.
Yeah, I agree to that extent. It very much, apologies, it very much felt like it was catered to Disney adults. And I am a Disney adult, so I'm fully on board with it. But I do wonder, Disney's meant to be family orientated, and if it is leaning only towards the adults, kids are going to see Disney, they're going to want to be involved, and then it's not catered to them. I just wonder if there's some kind of crossover that was missing for that. It was very adult orientated. They also had a cafe that was part of the pop-up that did specialty cakes, pastries, like high tea style. We could not get in. The queue when we got there was, what, 2.5 hours?
2.5 hours.
And there was only about 10 people ahead of us.
Yeah, and, you know, Lauren was in a wheelchair and we would have had to stand there. There was no, like, you know, you can leave, Lauren could sit over here, or, you know, we can hold your space while you walk around. It was just get in the queue line with the wheelchair, and it was a narrow queue, and it just wasn't going to be a very pleasant experience.
Even us asking about it, the sort of hostess at the gate, my wheelchair was in the way.
Yeah.
I felt in the way, and that is one of the things I hate feeling, even when I'm a mostly able person, is that I'm in the way and that I'm not useful. So being in a wheelchair, knowing I physically can't move myself, I felt like a burden. So it wasn't accessible. I'd say the entire department for Disney they did was not accessible. I really struggled to navigate around, but I didn't have that when we were in the Disney store, which we did visit afterwards just to make sure our comparison was not from memory but from accurate current experience.
Although it's now from a memory.
Yeah, it's now from memory, but at the time...
But what I would say, and obviously this is kind of irrelevant now because this is not there now, right? Well, I mean, the store is still there, but what I'm about to say is not there now, okay?
Okay.
What would have been a better experience for a family would have been to start at the top of Selfridges out the front, look at all the Disney displays they had out the front, which were excellent, and work your way down to the Disney store.
100%. Yes.
That is your, like, Christmas Disney experience incorporating Selfridges as a family.
Yes.
Would have been to look at all of the window displays of Selfridges, which were all Disney themed, and work your way to the Disney store, the actual
which
Disney
we technically did.
We did do that.
We obviously saw a few of them as we walked up, and the big castle they'd done on the corner, and I obviously squealed, but we went straight in. It was on our way out that Dan said, because I said I already wanted to see some of the windows, he went, do you want to see all of them? Because I will walk you backwards to go forward, so you get to see all of them. So we did go from the very one end all the way across, and having that build up and seeing them all with all the Christmas lights, I do feel like my excitement for Disney was a little bit more heightened when I got to the Disney store, which I didn't think would happen because I thought it would be the other way around, that I'd be more excited for Selfridges. And I think I was on reflection, but at the time I remember feeling excitement more.
By the time we got to Disney.
Yeah.
So what maybe would have been better would have been to do the outside in its entirety first, and then go and do the Disney store.
Yeah.
We had tried to get there earlier in the day, so that it wouldn't be as busy, and it wouldn't be as much of a problem for you in the wheelchair. It was still very, very busy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of why we went straight in. Yeah. But even removing the perspective of, you know, maybe it would have been more Christmas magical if we'd done the front first, I still think the better experience for a family would have been to do the outside of Selfridges and make your way to the Disney store, which had better Disney theming.
Yes. So Dan did bring this up moments ago about the specific merch for the Selfridges Pop-Up. For those who have no idea what we're talking about, essentially they did a bunch of Disney plushes, pins, and a few other bits that were completely in the Selfridges yellow, like the classic yellow colour associated with the Selfridges branding. The only stuff they had when we went there was the like extra large plush that are like £150. I'm obviously not going to buy that. I did want to get like a pin or like a mini plush or something that I'd seen some people get online, just to be like, I've been there. I even said to Dan when we were in there, before we even like got into it, I was like, I'm debating buying it because yellow is not my vibe, clearly. But I do kind of want like a pin at least. Like sometimes I can put the pinboard to be like, I got that at the Selfridges blah 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 in 2025. They had none of it. And so all the stuff we were seeing in the pop-up was stuff we then saw again at the Disney store or in Skinny Dip. They did have a lot of parks merchandise that you can't get elsewhere, which that I got quite excited by. But generally, 2 of the items I bought in Selfridges, we then saw again as soon as we went into the Disney store. So...
Did they, I might be misremembering, did they have some of the like Sakura Japanese stuff in Selfridges?
No. Yes, because one of these items is technically from that range.
Yeah, they had a few of those items.
Yeah, so they had a Christmas section, then they had this tiny like Japanese section, and you come around the corner and it was a mixture of Disney parks and Skinny Dip. Which one of the items I got is a blend of the two. They had, a lot of people went crazy for it, the Disneyland Paris clock as a clock. Again, it's cute, adorable, it's definitely the best park for the castle and stuff with the clock, but it's pink and it's not really my aesthetic. But it did feel like a lot of the stuff I was seeing, I know I can get online on the Disney store or on Skinny Dip, or I saw it in the Disney store. I personally was a little disappointed by the fact there wasn't as much there that was Selfridges exclusive, or like, this has come from the parks and you can only get it here. Even the Selfridges pins and plushes went on the Disney store, the online one, a couple of weeks after we went. So even the Selfridges stuff is no longer exclusive. Hello, Alexia.
You just let me know there before I step on you.
Yeah. Even that didn't stay exclusive to Selfridges. So I really enjoyed the experience. Now that it's been extended, I do want to maybe go back for a second time as an able-bodied person and see how I feel and see what they've got. I know that they've really hyped up the fact they're doing stuff with Skinny Dip in there now. I don't know if it was worth the hype it got online. That's sort of my short answer. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I went. I'm probably going to try and go again before it goes. But I do not think it deserved the hype it got online.
And what I will say is some of the Japanese park merch that we saw in there, the Sakura stuff, we'd actually seen in World of Disney in Paris a couple of months earlier.
Yes.
So it's just generally no longer completely exclusive to Japan. It's now a bit more global, I think.
And I like the fact they're bringing the park stuff more globally. I do like that as a collector. But it is a little bit like, well, why would I buy it here if I can get it online? Or
why would I travel to your park in Shanghai? Or, is it Shanghai?
Yeah, there is one in Shanghai. Tokyo, Hong Kong, Shanghai, California, Florida, Paris, soon to be Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, why would I travel to Shanghai or Abu Dhabi when it opens if the Abu Dhabi merch is available in Paris and it's down the road from me?
Or if I know some of it is going to become exclusive online for the Disney Store UK. Yeah. A collector's perspective, I love the fact I can get stuff from multiple places. It makes it nice and easy, particularly if I can't go to those parks. But it's just a little disheartening if you've gone all that way to go for that experience and actually it's just the same stuff you see online. One cool thing that did happen, it happened more to Dan than it did to me, was Carrie Hope Fletcher was there. And I chickened out again. Second time.
To be fair, you did feel a bit embarrassed. You were, because of the fact that you're not used to being...
I had no makeup on. I'd barely been able to shower and have enough energy to get in the car. I was not at my peak self. And Dan had gone to the bathroom and left me... I was sort of stood up, holding onto my wheelchair just to get a break from sitting and looking at this one shelf. And then she was stood right next to me, and I could not build up the courage to turn to her and be like, I love you, I want your career, you're an icon, can I have some advice please, because you are literally doing what I'm trained to do and I'm currently not doing it. Instead I got so upset with myself for my anxiety that by the time he come back I was crying. And when he was like, oh, what's going on, I was like, I'm in a wheelchair, that's my icon, I can't even bring myself, I'm getting upset again, I can't even bring myself to tell her how much she matters and how much I admire her and wish that I had her career. And it's the second time that I've been in her vicinity and I haven't had the courage to even say a word. I met her technically in California with Jess, Kate and Taylor, and them three just were the ones pushing and having that conversation, and I just mute. And at the end they were all like, why did you not speak to her? You are literally a trained performer, wanted to do musical theatre. She was the original Veronica. Yeah, so Dan come over and I told him, while in little tears, and he went, okay, it's cool. You're overwhelmed. We're going to get you out of here. And I was like, she's in the queue. She's there. And while we're in the queue and I was trying to calm myself, I'd started telling him facts about some of the other things I'd seen. And there was a plush of the hippo from Fantasia. And you never see merch from Fantasia. And then we got to our side of the till as she was just finishing paying up. And he leant over to her and was like, hey, where'd you get that plush from? My wife was telling me you don't get a lot of Fantasia merch. And she was like, oh, it's literally over there. And he was like, oh, thanks. And I literally was holding onto the wheelchair just like...
I only did that so that you had the opportunity to say thank you, or, you know, because...
I literally went, thanks. It was the mousiest squeak that came out my mouth.
Mm.
And even you were looking at me like, are you serious? Because you don't see me like that often. And I just...
Because I still don't know who she is. But, and you're like, oh, she's so-and-so's brother from...
McFly.
That's it. And yeah. I'm like, I don't know who that is either.
Yeah, she's Tom from McFly's sister.
Yeah, and I don't know who that is either. So...
The worst part is you've seen her perform live. Sure. When we went to the Sandy Tolsvig LGBTQIA Christmas thing at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yes, we went to that.
She was the angel.
I remember.
So we did bump into her. I freaked out again. Had many memories of that. Thought about it many times. I know I've told myself the next time I see her in person, even if I end up screaming at her looking like a crazy person, I just need to turn to her and be like, your career's my dream, I love you, keep doing it, thank you, and then walk away.
And then none of that, because that's a bit full on.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into what I did buy and what I spent and if I regret it or not. Because the answer is yes. I do actually regret some of this.
Buyer's remorse.
Yeah, so we're going to start with the two items that I then saw in the Disney store. I've been holding them on my lap the whole time. I can finally move my left arm. They're both keychain plushes. I'm a huge fan of keychain plush. Don't understand this fad with putting plushes on a headband. Have you seen these?
No.
So it's a headband, like a hairband, but imagine instead of mini ears, there's like a plush.
Okay. Sounds cute. Sit on your head. I've had Audrey sit on my head.
Sometimes it's just their head.
Oh.
Do you remember when we were there?
Oh yeah,
you saw
the
band
little
with,
heads.
Yeah, and you said to me, "Oh, the heads are cute." I went, "They go on a headband." You went, "That's less cute."
Mm.
And then you saw like on the display, and you're like, "That's really chunky and heavy." I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, don't mind attach it to my bag. Don't particularly want it on my head."
I'd rather have like a mini full body like Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah. So the first one is Christmas one, and it is Pluto holding a bone. Good size. Again, Disney is still doing these stupidly long tags. I will probably cut this off when I use him next year. He's got a little gold bow on his tail. He has a red bow on his back, like it's part of his collar. You can't really see, but his collar is also like checkered, like the candy cane. Very cute. I like the fact I can attach this to my bag at Christmas. Again, my aesthetic has changed a lot in the past sort of 2 years. I'm not into like all of the big bright colours, but I do still love Christmas. So I felt like this, like if we were to go to the parks at Christmas, attach that to my bag is a nice little Christmas nod without having to be Christmas. I did leave the receipt behind you guys. So the Pluto Christmas keychain was £20.
20 quid. I think hand size.
£20, and it's not big.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, a plush we're going to show you at the end that I got at the Disney store is twice, maybe 3 times the size, and was 40. So I did say to Dan, that's really expensive, and there was more in the Christmas range of these like keychains that I wanted, but I refused to buy more because I don't need more, so I picked Pluto. This I went in with the intention, I have just bent his hat though, there we go, with the intention of getting, and this is another keychain one, and it's Jack Skellington as a snowman. Night Before Christmas, as you can tell, and there is a shelf about it behind Dan as well, is one of my huge fandoms. I adore the film, I adore Tim Burton. This is my favourite scene. The whole song What's This, where he's discovering Christmas and like the contrast between the skeleton and the Christmas town. Chef's kiss. So they did this as an actual plush and him. And I wanted to get the plush. But the plush was more like a teddy bear, rough fleece material. Mm-hmm. He looked really soft. I picked him up and it literally within seconds gave it to Dan. Went, nope, texture, I can't do that. And even you were like, ooh. It was almost gritty. Do you remember? So then I was like, oh, what about the keychain? He is actually super soft and fluffy, like completely different material. This is really nice. Again, stupidly long tags. Another Christmas one. He is going on my display for all year round though. So I don't know necessarily if he will come to the parks with me, but he'll be on display. And he was cheaper. He's part of the Sakura range, technically, and he was £16, so he's £4 cheaper. He is comparatively a bit smaller, though. I mean, like, I think like in weight.
Yeah, in weight he is definitely a little bit smaller, and also probably in total bulk.
Yeah.
You can still kind of see Pluto around him. But yeah, definitely he feels a bit softer. Pluto, yeah.
He's
very
like a solid,
dense.
yeah.
Whereas Jack is quite squidgy.
Yeah, so Pluto I have maybe a little bit of buyer's guilt with. Jack I don't, because like I said, I know I'll display him. He's one of my fandoms. Can't go wrong. My last purchase from Selfridges, I simultaneously do and don't regret. Skinny Dip product. It's a Disney Parks product. I did not need another hoodie. And I have a big thing about having like icons or years. I don't want to see a bag where it's like New York 2020. Cool, you went to New York in 2020. I don't care. And yet, what did I go and do? I think it's an anniversary, if I remember rightly. Grey, but it's like stone washed.
Yeah.
This fits my vibe. However, it's a Disneyland hoodie. I have been to Disneyland, so that counts. But it's a Disneyland 70 hoodie. I have not been to Disneyland during the 70th anniversary. And so I kind of annoyed myself with it. This side, it's got a picture of Mickey in like blue and green. And it says the happiest place on earth, which is Disneyland California's slogan. I think Disney World is the most magical place on earth. And Paris is, Disney. Oui, oui.
Baguette fromage.
Baguette fromage. The back is where the magic happens, as always with these kind of things. It says Disneyland in its funky writing, same colours. And it's got the castle that's in a big Mickey. And again, it says the happiest place on earth on the bottom. The reason why... Oh, and there's a little Mickey embroidered on the hood. Now, the reason I say this is a sort of regret of a buy, like I said, I don't particularly like anything that has anniversary numbers on. I don't do that. I don't know what possessed me to then buy something that's for a 70th anniversary.
But you weren't at.
That I'm not at and won't be at. But I really like that this fits my aesthetic with the stonewash greys and the blacks. But a little pop of colour. It's giving alternative. It's giving 2000s like emo kid, but Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can see this being in like a music video with the Crocs denim jeans.
It's in an Alien Ant Farm video, I'm sure.
So I like the vibes. I have worn this a lot, like a lot since I bought it. So it's got its use. Another reason why it's a little bit of a regret purchase. This was £60. It's a lot of money for
a jumper,
a hoodie, yes. But like I said, I have worn it a lot. If I was to go back to California, I 100% would be wearing it there.
And it's fine because Lauren's going to make 70 our lucky number, and then we can pretend it's not an anniversary day.
Go for it. 7's my lucky number, so why not make it 70?
There you go.
Yeah, so slight regret, but I have worn it a lot. I do think this was probably the most used purchase of the whole thing. So that being said, my total was £96. I've just done that math without checking the receipt, so I'm going to get you to check.
It sounded like 98
60,
when you said.
20, 16.
Oh, was it 16? Yeah,
16.
96 then. Yeah. We did 18.
Yeah, so I spent a relative amount of money. Like I said, I'd already gone in expecting to buy a pin, either saying like Disney Selfridges or being the Selfridges yellow. Pins were even more expensive than elsewhere. The ones that were a reasonable price, I then saw again in the Disney store, so they're not special. And the actual...
And I think they were still like £2 more just for being in Selfridges.
And the Selfridges ones didn't exist. I am, when I go next time, hopefully in like a week or two, I am going to try and get a Selfridges pin. If I can't get it there, I know I can get it on what used to be Shop Disney or the Disney store online. So, kind of takes the magic out of it when you have to buy an item for the event you went to online. But it is what it is. There's only one more thing that I bought. Is there anything you want to share before I turn around and grab it?
Completely irrelevant. Our slightly poorly cat is drinking water. Had a very dry nose earlier.
Yes. So when I went to the Disney store, I found this guy. He's also part of the Japanese range. It's King Donald.
King Donald.
He has very firm pads on his feeties, so he actually does stand really well. The quality of the make of this plush is impeccable. He's very, very sturdy. All of his fabric is well made and well sewn.
The only thing I will say, and I've noticed this on the Japanese toys, all of them, is that whatever they use for stuffing that's slightly different, it is very springy, it is quite soft, but it has got a slightly plasticky feel inside.
Yeah.
This one is not as bad as some of the ones I've felt, but it is still noticeable compared to... This has more of a memory foam kind of feel.
But yeah, so he was the only thing I got from the Disney store. There was more in there I wanted to get, most of them being plushes. I did finally find the Zero plush that I wanted when we went to Paris, but opted not to buy it because I have a lot of plushes. I'm trying to stop buying plushes and move more into like figurines. But I saw him and I could not. He was £40.
Which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I kept the tag on. I keep the tag on nearly all of my plushes in case... I was always told to because it holds their value.
The reason why Lauren is moving away from plushes and to figurines, just to explain, is that one, these guys, they take up a lot of room, especially the ones that can't stand. Yeah. And Lauren does not like putting them away. She gets quite funny about it because they're meant to be loved and they're meant to be out. Whereas figurines, they're a bit more, you know, put on display. Well, you don't want them on display, put them in a box, put them in a loft.
I'll fix them in a minute. They both fall over.
But
I tried.
That is her logic.
Yeah, I don't like putting toys in a box. Like cuddly toys. Yeah, so I am moving more towards figurines. I feel like I get more for my money with them.
And you can swap out your
My display
without feeling
too much guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's everything we got. That's our little review of Selfridges. Glad we went. I do think it got overhyped. That's my version. Agree?
Agree.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Thanks, Alexia.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Disney content.
Thank you. There is going to be more Disney content. We've got a trip coming up to do with the new... Can you stop? Sorry, she's playing with her little birdie that's got a bell on it. And...
This is how you're finishing your video now.
Yeah. More content coming. Please subscribe. Okay, peace out. Bye. 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 Just jumping on to add this in, we did get one of their bags which have all the icons on to put all our belongings in. It's the same on both sides. It's actually very durable, have used, will continue to use.